I try and keep relatively fit, so I try and have a run or a walk every morning. I'm doing the Black Rock View lookout, and whereas I usually run or walk alone, today I've got company, and wonderful company it is too. Declan. Declan's come with me.
That's right.
So nice to be walking with one of my sons. Out of breath just walking, you know you're on the right path. I love this. Fantastic.
Also, Mum isn't this much shorter than me. I'm standing on a bit of a platform.
Although I am quite a bit shorter. Not that much shorter. Yep. Okay, lead on Macduff. Let's get going. Someone's put a handy little handrail in, a rope handrail. Whoops, the Declan is just destroyed. This is why we can't have nice things, Declan.
Yeah.
Declan and I are soaking up the view from Black Rock, looking out across Nai Han Bay, Phuket. It's a sight we will miss as we count down our last days in Thailand before embarking on our biggest offshore adventure to date, sailing from Phuket to the Maldives. 1,500 nautical miles of open ocean. Before we depart for such a long offshore experience, there are many jobs to be ticked off our list. Number 1, our life raft is well overdue a reservice. Should we ever need to use this, what do we do with the cat in a inflatable life raft?
Yeah.
You do not want those little callums in the boat.
There's a gone burger. Sorry, mochaccino. Or you could actually clip her nails, to be fair. Clip them right back.
Number 2, sound sails are vital on any passage, so down came the Genoa for restitching. And number 3, our batteries, which have been slowly dying, need replacing. You've got a job, what are you doing?
Just labelling all the, not sure what the technical name is, the things that go, the connections that go onto the other connections. And so just putting the positive and negative to tag, just so that you know which one's which to go on which bank of batteries, and yeah, so that's what I was doing.
So Dean here has kindly taken me in his car into old Phuket town to pick up some batteries. We now have the boys ferrying the batteries to and fro and to the tender, and they're then going to transfer them from the tender into the boat while we go back and get a coffee, and recover.
Yeah.
Hey Dean, we've got to go recover. How's that, Ive? Light as?
Use your words.
Use your words, boy.
It's been 1.5 years since we have flown our colourful old spinnaker, Miss Ribena. She was damaged sailing from Australia to Kupang, Indonesia. Ever hopeful that she can be repaired, Rob took her to the internationally renowned Rolly Tasker sail loft here in Phuket to see if they could breathe some life into her.
Oh.
Doesn't need much breeze.
Okay, that's not good. All right.
This one is gone.
It's completely gone, eh?
Yeah. It's beyond by yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Behind me there's a sign that says this is the world's largest custom-built sail loft. 9,038 meters squared. I had no idea about that. In Phuket, Thailand, world's biggest sail loft, and we're getting our spinnaker made here.
We are very grateful to the guys at Rolly Tasker who have agreed to supply us with a new spinnaker and spinnaker sock to keep us cruising downwind.
I'm sending up the extraordinary, the exceptional, sometimes known as expendable middle child, up the mast to do some measurements for our new Rolly Tasker spinnaker. I keep saying Rolly Shoals, actually. Rolly Tasker, Rolly Shoals. I just about said it then. Rolly Shoals, of course, is the islands off the west coast of Australia. Beautiful atolls. Oh man, beautiful. Just as the sail is beautiful as well, but it's a Rolly Tasker sail, not a Rolly Shoals sail. Declan's pulled this rope up with him, and I'm going to mark it down to the marking spots because we don't have a tape measure this long, do we?
That looks very precise what you're doing.
Yep. Very precise. Standing in the middle of this sail loft, right beside me is Ribena, God rest her blessed soul, and our new sail is about to be revealed, and it's a beautiful piece of work too. What you reckon, Rach? Looking good, huh?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Obviously not as big as Miss Ribena, but still not far off it.
Pretty good
Probably
size.
a bit better for the boat as well.
It's probably
and the
safer.
rigging.
Yeah, better for the rig.
Very nice, and it feels really lovely. You know, that fresh kind of crispiness that Miss Ribena lacked.
Sure did.
So seeing is believing with this place. It really is enormous and a hive of activity. There's lots of different areas where they're cutting and measuring and sewing the sails together, and there's something like 66 staff here in this building, and 60 of them are women.
It's interesting seeing this historical board with photos and everything. It's got John Sanders. He's a really famous Australian yachtsman. He was famous here for sailing, circumnavigating the world non-stop, not once, not twice, 3 times without stopping, without putting the anchor down. Well, I met him after he'd done his 7th circumnavigation of Australia. I think he's in his late 70s when I met him. It was about 2 or 3 years ago. You could see he was so independent. I said, oh, can I help you? It's a big heavy thing. No, it's all okay. And he talked about his circumnavigator, his autohelm, had taken him around the world without any breakages at all. Looking here, he circumnavigated the world with the same sails, masts, spars, halyards, ropes, everything without breaking. Amazing. He averaged 108 miles a day, I think. 108 miles a day for a circumnavigation. That's incredible. It's over 4 knots in speed, non-stop, average. Pretty impressive. I'm on hold at the moment to New Zealand, our Bank of New Zealand Visa card, Saga. We've been living on credit cards for 5 years. At least 3 months ago we had some fraudulent activity on this credit card, and so they shut it down and had to reissue it. And I gave them an address in Malaysia, Rebak Marina, to be sent to. Well, it never turned up. It was about a month later and it still hadn't arrived. So I rang up the bank and said, look, it hasn't arrived, can you reissue it, and can you please send it up to Thailand? And I gave them the Thailand address. Friends of ours living here in Phuket. We're planning to be up there in a few weeks' time. So yeah, no problem. We went through the whole address, quite a long address. We had to go through and put extra lines in their system to get it all in, and it was all very thorough. Rung off in all happy days. About 3 days later, the first credit card arrived at Rebak Marina. So it took about a month for it to arrive there. Crazy. And of course by that time it was cancelled. So then we sail up to here, to Phuket. We've been here, what, 3 weeks now? And it hasn't arrived, still hasn't arrived. So I've just gone on the phone to the bank again, say, look, we're at this new place, this new one still has not arrived, and it was sent 4.5 weeks ago. Still hasn't arrived. And so she went through the whole address with me, which got an absolutely spotty dog, absolutely right, and then said Malaysia.
Wrong.
Wrote the address down perfectly, except put Malaysia instead of Thailand. So we're kind of sitting here now. We have a few more things to do here before we depart, but you could argue that the main thing that's holding us now is our credit card. So we're waiting right now, waiting.
While we waited, with the help of Cholamark Boat Company and Highfield boats, we were able to upgrade our old travel-worn Highfield tender for a new, slightly larger Highfield tender to better fit Ollie the outboard.
So the reason we've upgraded the tender was because, first of all, when we got the bigger engine, the 30 horsepower engine, we did wonder, was the 3.1 metre going to be big enough? Would it handle it? Actually, it does handle it fine. I think it's okay, but we've gone up to the 3.4 anyway. But the really interesting thing with this, we've gone for the 3.4 metre ultralight, which is actually lighter than the 3.1 metre classic that we currently have. So we've got a longer boat, but it's actually slightly lighter. So we're going to have a longer water line, and that'll get the boat up on the plane a lot easier, and it'll ferry go faster. We're not here for breaking speed records, but we are interested in getting up onto the plane easily, and this boat's going to really help us do that, especially with that 30 horsepower. The difference between the Classic and the ultralight is the Classic has, you recall, in our old tender, the seat up the front where the fuel tank is hidden away. This one has a step on it where the tank can sit on it and you can belt it down. The other difference between the ultralight and the Classic, the ultralight doesn't have the false floor. With the Classic, the false floor allows the water to go underneath that if there is any water in the tender. So we might get our footsies tootsies a little bit wet sometimes. I think we can manage that. I think that will be okay. So this is Peter from Highfield in Phuket. Peter has been our person liaison, the go-to guy who has helped make this happen. Peter's company, Cholamark, actually his father, Lars, actually started the company 30 years ago. And I will say, Peter insisted that we have chaps on this boat, and they have made these chaps for it. And you compare it, you know, the tropical sun here really is hard on the things. It's so good. No, it'll last so much longer with the chaps on top. And look at this, everybody. The cruising Kiwis on YouTube. So good.
At this point, we were feeling quite overwhelmed and grateful for the help we have received over the past few months. Declan and Ivan had also been gifted a pair of freediving fins, courtesy of our patron Mark Worsnop, who reached out to us following Finn's freediving accident.
I woke up with you on my mind, watch the air turn as you breathe. Yeah, I'm morning feeling up your eyes, waking up the life in me. You set my soul on fire, you pull my heartbeat toward the sun. You give me new eyes open, you call my heartbeat into love.
Okie dokie, I'm about to turn it back on. You want to evacuate first?
And at a safe distance.
Stand back. It doesn't look quite as tidy as it was before, but it's because the terminals are slightly different, the attachments. So some of the cables are sticking upwards, because if I had them the other way, they'd be covering over the top-up cells. Wouldn't be able to get access to the cells. So yeah, it looks a little bit vertical, but otherwise pretty happy with it. It's all tied down, secure. The question is, have I got the connections correct in terms of the parallels? We'll soon see. Positive, negative, no explosions. Is anything on in there? Yay. Okay, now let's try the solar. 37 amps going into it. 36, 37 amps. That's solar. Ooh, they're working.
The credit cards arrived soon after, so we hit the supermarket for our big fresh food provision for the journey ahead. Here we are at the Macro supermarket for our big shop with the fruit and the veggies. Dragon fruit, I love these. I do hope they're going to be in the Maldives. I'm aware that the lighting in here is not very nice, but I asked ChatGPT to do me a menu plan for the 15 days at sea and come up with a shopping list. So I'm working to that. Rob's working to his own shopping list. Hopefully we don't double up too much.
Oh yeah, another shop done, and it's like a usual story. Not a dollar was spared in the making of this video.
Is that alright?
We have, oh yes, is that being here? That's alright.
Now we've got to get 2 big trolleys worth of food home. Luckily we don't have to take it on the motorbike. We have a friend, Kiwi friend here in Phuket. Actually his wife Louise does a YouTube channel. I've been meaning to do something with her, collaboration. She makes videos about their life as expats here in Phuket. Great advice if you're looking to retire to Thailand. A really good idea. So reasonably priced here. And finally, the last item on the list. Something I'd been promising myself for over a year now, but which took Rob dragging me away from the computer to achieve.
So Rachel and I are going into town today. It's a bit of a special day because we're going to try and tick a box that Rachel's wanted ticked for a long time. I'm going to make it happen today, people.
So here we are. Rob has dragged me screaming and kicking to get a massage. I promised myself a massage a year ago, and within days of leaving, I'm doing it. It is lovely. Yeah, I just never found the time. Rob's got in on the act. He looks like he's having fun. It's always hard leaving a place you have grown to love, but our time in Thailand is now over. We will miss the people, the culture, the landscapes, and of course the very reasonable price of living throughout Southeast Asia.
So we're about to take off Ollie and put it up on the railings. Before I do that, I'm just giving it a last run, make sure the fuel is chock-a-block in the carburetor. Once we get it up on the railings, Ivan's going to give it a wash and just run it to the time that it's got fuel in the carburetor. That should clear out the salt, any salt that remains in the cooling system, and thereby, because we've got a long passage, it's not going to be used for a couple of weeks. So don't want to cause any damage now. Good old trusty Ollie. So we're just going to support this strut here, the stay here, with the line across to this other one. We're going to do a trucker hitch. Declan's going to swing on it, just to give it a bit of support.
That's it. I know, we are actually going. It seems crazy. We're saying goodbye to Thailand, Southeast Asia. What a great spot. Mind you, we love everywhere we go, so I'm sure when we arrive in the Maldives we'll be like, oh my goodness, what a great spot.
You know, I've said it before, I was kind of reluctant to leave Australia because I really loved Australia, but also because I was anxious about Southeast Asia. Not just because of the story of my brother and what happened to him, but just general stories you hear, you know, along the way of, I don't know, just stories. I can't even think of any at the moment, but there's just this unease about going into Southeast Asia. And right from the very beginning, it has been fantastic. I would recommend this area to anyone, anytime.
I think I'm starting to get a bit of placebo seasickness.
Are you really?
Yeah, just thinking about it. How? It's literally...
It's like the
boat has even started. Yeah, I know, it's really calm, but it's like the feeling of just leaving and all that. I'm getting emotional seasickness.
So, mister, you're the one who loses the most from leaving, in that you're leaving a really good group of friends who you have seen practically every day for the last 3 months. Well, with a little blip when we went to
whenever I
Phuket.
could, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it was pretty sad, like actually saying goodbye. And then when I went, because I went over to one of the guys' houses to grab all the musmon we got, and like all his family were there, and they were like, "See you next time," kind of thing. And that was a little bit sad. But then I know it hasn't really hit me yet, I guess. Yeah, I could see I could see he was sad, but he didn't. Yeah.
Do you think he really understood you're not coming back this time because you went to
I think
Malaysia?
so. Yeah, I think so. I think it was just kind of, they were saying when they're saying see you next time, they're meaning, you know, see.
Yeah.
I hope
you do, and I hope you keep in contact with them, and I hope maybe one of them or two of them could come and join us on the boat.
as a little keepsake. I'll get everyone to sign my ball. Got some love nut and then a little heart and stuff.
That's so nice.
I wrote here 2024 Thailand.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ivan, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Oh, come up close. Oh, jellyfish sting! I like it.
What makes you want to do this?
I'm just losing coverage. I've just picked up Wordle and I'm going for two.
Wait. No, that won't be two. You got to put a T on the end.
No, that teeth. Oh my god.
Yeah, you almost.
Hold on, I nearly blew it. I'm going for two. Thank you, Declan. What do you reckon? That's got to be it, eh?
That's a pretty good guess.
That's a pretty good guess.
Ah! Oh!
What?
Looks like it's gonna be three.
Come on, eat it so bad.